Hello, I'm Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Literary Love 123, where I combine my master's in English with my passion for the horror genre to talk about the books that I read. Today's video is my September reading plans video. So after this quick intro, I'll be right back to talk about the books and other activities I plan to get up to this September. September is packed with so much goodness, from buddy reads to book clubs to readathons to live show trivia events. There is going to be so much going on, and I'm so excited. So, let me start by talking about the first book I plan to read in September, and that is a reread of The Shining by Stephen King. I'm going to be buddy reading The Shining with Elaine from Cobalt Dragon. You probably all already know what The Shining is about. The family of Jack, Wendy, and Danny Torrance are going to be caretakers at a winter hotel, and no one's going to be at the hotel except for the three of them. Jack is a struggling writer. He's also battling alcoholism. As the family stays isolated over an extended period of time, Jack begins a descent into madness. Danny has a gift called the Shining, in which he's able to have visions of the future and can kind of see things that are happening at other places in the present. So, as Jack spirals further and further down into madness, it's a very dangerous situation for Jack and Wendy. Also, with Elaine, as well as with Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic, and Nicole from Nicole's Bookish Nook. On Elaine's channel, we are going to have a live show for the Nightmare Before Christmas trivia. We are all big fans of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, so we get to have a little good natured competition to see who knows the most about The Nightmare Before Christmas. That live show is taking place, as I said, on Elaine's channel. That will be on Sunday, September 21st, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern, all of the good times. So, next thing I want to talk about is the Literary Love Book Club, which is the book club that I run. Our live show for the August selection, which was Crypt of the Moon Spider by Nathan Ballingrud. We are going to be having that live show on my channel September 6th at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Because Crypt of the Moon Spider is so short and because September is so busy, I do not have a co-host for that live show. So it'll just be me on camera chatting with all of you about Crypt of the Moon Spider. The next thing I want to talk about is the week of Weird, which takes place from September 7th through 13th. This is an event that takes place every September and March. It is hosted by Crystal, excuse me, at Fiber Artsy, and Jason at Jason's Weird Reads. So let me talk about the prompts for the week of Weird and what I plan to read. So the first prompt for the week of Weird is to read a short weird book or story under 200 pages. So I'm going to read The White People by Arthur Machen. I really love The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher, which is kind of, based on or takes inspiration from Arthur Machen's The White People. So, what is The White People about? Let me look that up so I can tell you. Again, like I said, it's a short story by Arthur Machen. The White People is a 1904 short story by Welsh author Arthur Machen, considered a masterpiece of weird fiction and a significant influence on later horror writers such as H.P. Lovecraft. The story is presented as the diary of a young girl who, guided by her nurse, discovers a hidden world of magic, spirits, and ancient rituals, blurring the lines between childhood fantasy and occult reality. The next prompt is read a weird book or story written by a trans author. Now, I don't necessarily know how weird this book is, but it is a book I've had on my TBR for a while. So, this is a good time for me to get to it. And that is Tell Me I'm Worthless by Allison Rumfitt. So, let me go over the synopsis for this book. 3 years ago, Alice spent one night in an abandoned house with her friends, Ha and Hannah. Is that Ala and Hannah? I'm so sorry. I should put on my glasses. Not Ha. Ala and Hannah. Since then, Alice has lived a haunted existence, selling videos of herself for money, going to parties she hates, drinking herself to sleep. Memories of that night torment Alice, but when Isla asks her to return to the house, she knows she must go. Together, they must face the horrors that happen there, must pull themselves apart from the inside out, put their differences aside, and try to rescue Hannah, whom the house has chosen to make its own. Cutting, disruptive, and darkly funny, Tell Me I'm Worthless is a vital work of trans fiction that examines the devastating effects of trauma and how fascism makes us destroy ourselves and each other. So, just to show you, it's kind of hard to read these letters on this black cover. So, again, I'm so sorry that I read Isla as Ha at first. I'm not even going to cut that out because, hey, this is me. All right, so the next prompt is read a weird book or story in translation. So for this one, I've chosen Strange Beast of China by Yan Gi. So let me tell you what the synopsis for Strange Beast of China is. In the fictional Chinese city of Yangon, an amateur cryptozoologist is commissioned to uncover the stories of its fabled beasts. These creatures live alongside humans in near inconspicuousness, save their greenish skin, serrated earlobes, and strange birthmarks. Aided by her elusive former professor and his enigmatic assistant, our narrator sets off to document each beast and is slowly drawn deeper into a mystery that threatens her very sense of self. Part detective story, part metaphysical inquiry, Strange Beast of China engages existential questions of identity, humanity, love, and morality with whimsy and stylistic verve. So this sounds very appealing to me, this idea of these beasts that are coexisting with humans. And I'm always down for some existential commentary. And the fourth and final prompt for the week of weird is to read the group read, which is House of Souls by Arthur Machen. So I looked that up on Goodreads, and it says four of Macken's classic novellas, A Fragment of Life, The White People, The Great Guy Pant, and The Inmost Light, collected in one volume. So I guess it is a collection rather than an individual story. It only has 292 pages, so it's not that long. And I already plan to read The White People. I've read The Great Guy Pan. So I will get to A Fragment of Life and The Inmost Light as well. All right. Then last but certainly not least, starting September 22nd and going through October 31st is the Halloween event you've all been waiting for. Yes, it is Halloweenathon, a reading event, a watching event, an activity event. This is created and hosted by the incredible Kelsey at Slime and Slashers. I'm not going to talk about my plans for Halloween-a-thon in this video. I'm going to have another video coming out in the middle of September where I go into further detail about my plans for Halloween-a-thon because I want to dedicate an entire video to that event. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell so we can continue to talk about the books that we read, the books that we want to read, and just in general have a wonderful bookish community. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.